astrologer Wonder Girl, and I am here to give you your monthly forecast for the month of March 2017. Now this month, we have just come off 2 solar eclipses, wanting to bring in new fresh air into our lives, wanting to move forward. Mars is still in Aries, finishing up there, just came off of Uranus, where you wanting to break free, wanting to make moves, wanting to move forward. But as it's doing that, the Sun and Mercury are kind of in hard spots, preventing you from really trying to move forward, or when you are trying to move forward, feeling uncomfortable about some of the ways in which you're moving forward and some of the things that are happening in your life. On top of that, Venus going retrograde, bringing your relationships up for review. So it's this weird thing where you're trying to move forward on you, do what you want, but you've got some of these other things that are hurt, that are confusing, and especially with relationships that you're having to review and redo all over again. So that's mostly the beginning of the month, where you're making a lot of changes in relationships. You're trying to figure things out there. You're trying to rearrange your life into a way that works for you, but feeling a little bit hurt about it and about what's going on. Then towards the middle of the month, we move into another phase. Mars moves into Taurus there, and so it becomes less and less about acting on me and what I want and where are we going, and I don't care whose feelings are hurt as long as this works for me, you know, even though you need to learn to balance your feelings with the feelings of others. It becomes more about, did I make the right decision? Did I do what was right? You know, do I really have the things in my life that I value? And the decisions that I've made, are they the right decisions for me as I move forward in this new space? And it becomes even more and more about relationships. So we start the beginning of the month thinking about me, what I want, where we're going, and then as we move through the month, we end it thinking about other people and what other people want, and do we have the right people in our life, and are they what we value? Because Mars is in a good spot in Aries at the beginning of the month, and when it comes out, it moves into Taurus, and as it moves into Taurus, Venus starts going retrograde, and Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus. Venus has got a lot of things going on, going retrograde about your relationships. Jupiter is also in Libra, another Venus ruled sign, okay, which is also all about your relationships. So this is major relationship chapters coming up for review, things from the past, especially relationships coming back to you about where your life is going, what's been going on all this time, how things are going to move forward, trying to figure things out that can be a little bit difficult as we move forward. And of course, the Sun at the end of the month is going to move into Aries too, where Mars just was, wanting to move forward on your identity, wanting to get things done. But by this time that the Sun moves into Aries, it's no longer in a good position anymore. Even though the Sun likes being in Aries, Mars is no longer there. You know, all these planets are retrograde. So it's not the best time for you to really move forward and to make things happen unless you're trying to work out some hard stuff from the past, figure some things out there so that you can really move into it in a new way. As this stuff is happening and towards the middle of the month, while Mars moves into Taurus, the Venus ruled sign, we've got a full moon in Virgo. Both Taurus and Virgo are earth signs, so something very practical in your life that you can see on the outside, you know, whatever Virgo rules for you in your chart is going to come to completion in some way. You're maybe going to end something outwardly in your life, of a way of looking at things or a way of interacting with things and people daily is going to end, so that you can come into a new chapter that defines your daily existence and what you do on the day-to-day. So a lot of that is going to happen there, which is really going to bring in kind of this new chapter of, what do I want my life to look like, and do I value it, and does it make sense for me to have this, and is it the most healthy for me, and does it align myself, mind, body, spirit, soul? You know, you're going to want to bring everything together in your life, you know, and try to work things out on, do I have everything, because it's what I value and it's what I really need and want at this time. Venus also rules money. I don't typically translate Venus as money, but could also be old money issues coming up, or old things, you know, involving money and your resources and your financial and physical possessions that you're going to then have to work out, and your confidence. What are you worth? What is your value? Are you, you know, a part of a relationship or a situation that really resonates with the life you want to create and how valuable you think that you are? So that's going to happen there. As we move towards the end of the month, things still get a little difficult. We've got Saturn squaring the sun, so this is you really trying to break through to your identity, to get on board on the journey that you know you need to go in, that you want to go in, maybe not quite liking the things that have happened to you recently, especially with big changes in relationships coming up at the beginning of the month with Pluto squaring Jupiter going retrograde, but still trying to have to accept that what's happened and you have to move forward and make the best of it, kind of there. And then of course you get this T-square happening with Pluto, Jupiter, and Uranus continuing. So just a lot of changes in your relationships and who you are and what you want that doesn't seem to be ending too. And then we kind of end the month, the very end, March 27th, with the new moon in Aries, trying to usher in a new identity of who we are, of what we want, moving forward in that way so that we can really have the life that we want, be a new person, just a whole bunch of new things outwardly in our life. So new energy does come in there. At the end of the month, Venus also shifts from the evening star to the morning star when the sun passes it. So your relationships will become a little more carefree after that. Maybe what's needed is at the beginning of the month a little bit of a pruning of relationships, of figuring things out in relationships, so that you can finally be a little more lighthearted about love, and about the things that you love and the things that you enjoy, a little more so than you have been recently. So I think that even though things may be hard during the beginning of the month, middle, and even towards the end, they start to lighten up around the 27th as you move forward. Things start to happen really fast as Mercury begins to conjunct Uranus and trine Saturn. So we're thinking, you know, things in a different way. We're breaking free from some mental blocks that are really helping us to move forward on our journey. You know, some other pretty aspects with Neptune sextile Mars, you know, acting on insights, maybe being a little more dreamy and optimistic than we normally would be happening and moving forward in that way. So it does seem to be lightening up, but not entirely, because Saturn is going to retrograde the following month. Mercury is also going to retrograde too. So you've made a bunch of these changes at the beginning of the month in your relationships. You're starting to think about what you value, feeling more free, and then all of a sudden the timekeeper Saturn starts going backwards, saying, okay, you made the right decision. You thought you were making the right decision at the time. You know, Mars and Taurus doesn't really, you know, mess around when it comes to what you value, you know, so did you do the right thing? Do you need to renegotiate some things some more? You know, you made some changes initially to renegotiate and to bring your life on a different path. Is there anything else you can do to tighten those things up just a little bit more? You know, it's like all this time for this whole month, Saturn is watching you from the sidelines, you know, saying, you know what, I'm gonna let Brittany, I'm gonna let you, her, him, whatever, do their thing. Make the decisions that they think they need to make for their life, you know, and have their free will. And then all of a sudden, the father, Saturn, you know, which rules time, which rules fatherhood, steps in and says, you know, you've been doing okay in this area, but you need to fix this area right here. Or you did the whole thing horribly. I thought I could trust you and let you do it on your own, and now we need to pick this up here and learn the things we didn't, and I'm gonna have to have a little bit of a heavy hand if you haven't been doing things the right way, you know, and to go from there to try to work everything out. So keep that in mind this month. Beginning is going to be hard, confusion, that kind of thing, making cuts in relationships. That will ease up a little bit towards the end. The card for this week is the Eight of Wands reversed. Eight of Wands upright, which this card is not, is usually about things happening fast, being very creative, very passionate, very excitable, things being very exciting. When it's reversed, it's, you know, it's the opposite. Things aren't going to be going as fast as you like. They aren't going to be as exciting as you like. You know, you aren't going to be making the progress that you want to make because you got a lot of changes you need to make. You got a lot of rearranging you need to do. Okay, it's like a big ship that you're on that you got to turn and you got to get in the right direction. It's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of brain power as you try to move forward and make these big changes. You know, and a lot of these planets are not in the best positions to facilitate really fast forward movement. It's a lot of rethinking, a lot of redoing, a lot of trying to make sure the foundations are strong this time around, so that you don't have to deal with this again. So take it slow. Don't go too fast. Don't get impatient. Don't rush yourself, and realize that there is a time for everything and that things will happen in its perfect timing, and to be okay with that. So that is all I have for your horoscope this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, please like it below on Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Share it with friends, leave me a message, and I will talk to you next week.